Sam, you were alluding to. We're back on board. And again, if you watch just inside that unique steering wheel, just to the left of that, you can see that red indicator. It's fifth right now, fifth gear. And then when they slam down through the gears, it is remarkable, but it tells you exactly what's going on inside that car. That actually is sixth now. He just went.
Yeah, here's this part of the track that's as fast as any other. Here comes this no-name right-hander just before Indianapolis. The left-hander coming up now, but he's just been through a really, really fast part. If you went straight here, you'd go into our Nage and be able to have lunch at the restaurant we ate in. It's just a few hundred yards down there, and now you make the run up toward the Porsche curves.
Where those marshals are standing behind that guardrail, there's a whole bunch of houses there, and their gardens come down to the track. And of course, when I started racing here first, this guardrail wasn't there. People would sit on lawn chairs right by the edge of the road at the end of their backyard, and they'd just sit there all day and watch it.
Folding the car now into those Porsche curves, and again, the speed that they carry through this section, it is not straight, but it is awfully fast. There's third. Now watch this indicator here. He comes up through here, and this is the corner where he got caught out a little bit, I think, by the Viper. There's third. There's fourth. I mean, it's very fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tremendous handling here, and you can see fifth gear now how much downforce they have. You cannot get through all the way down to first. Wow, look at that. First gear. I thought he'd take that in second. That's a very, very long first gear. If the Toyota has a similar gear, David, I think that explains their starting problems. And you know, you got to realize that the pit straight is slightly uphill, and Toyota just happens to be in a position along that straight which is a little more uphill than some of the rest of the pit area, so that could exacerbate their problem.
And again, you were talking about how hard they're working. He just went through the Dunlop chicane and was all sideways through there, getting up on the curbs. I mean, they are running. That last lap was a 3:41.8 off of the qualifying pace a bit, but they're still working these cars very hard. We have now just left Terre Haute and are heading down the Mulsanne. Let's just let you enjoy this ride.
Feel great. You know, it's just great to blow somebody off like that.
You also feel
annihilated in
slight sigh of relief too. He is working hard, isn't he?
Amazing thing here, you come out of that second chicane and you're right into what is the Mulsanne, the King, and it gives it a whole different perspective exiting a chicane as opposed to coming into it at 240 miles an hour after 2 miles.
Okay, here's that little rise that used to get cars airborne, and of course
it did this morning.
Look at the way that thing twitches on the brake, you know, into the Mulsanne. It's incredible. It must be an awful handle there.
We're coming around now. We're nearly completing a full lap to give you an idea of what 3 minutes and about 40 seconds feels like to accomplish an 8-mile drive through the countryside.
And they're saying that now, this section of track with the chicanes on the Mulsanne, right before they get to that right-hander, is now the fastest part of the circuit.
Look at that bumping, by the way. Yeah, this is probably the most dangerous place right in here for my money. No-name turn before Indianapolis. Indianapolis is called that because it's a left turn with banking. It's a slightly banked in honor of that. It's nothing like an Indianapolis turn at all. There's that first gear at Arnage. Wow, that was a great ride, a great experience to ride around with a Mercedes-Benz.
Well, look at the closing rate. That's one of the GTS cars, and they exist if you catch them at the wrong time in a braking zone, but otherwise they almost don't. I mean, the closing speeds are so incredible.
Yeah, that's where that 45 seconds a lap difference comes from. I mean, that guy is now 3 turns back, and by now he's 4 turns back, and the next thing you know, he's a piece of dust.
Now, this is the approach here into that Ford chicane, and this is some incredibly hard braking into this section. You go down to second gear here, and then first for the second of those two corners. There's the left-right, and a little bit of gas, and then here it's hard braking.
The idea initially behind, of course, the Ford chicane was that Ford had set this all-time distance record with their big cars, and they thought if they paid for a chicane, that would keep their distance record intact. It did for about a year.
And boy, you can take a look. As Andrew Marriott informed us, it's getting a little dark here in certain areas of the Sarth, and that could prove very interesting. It certainly is for the Toyota team. We'll be back.
Well, in a word, Le Mans is awesome. I'm not talking just the racing. I'm not talking just the racetrack. I'm talking everything.